John, let's say you're switching over to Qples because you're using Excel or something else. Can you take all of your existing stuff, put it in some standard format with, the header across the top of the columns and just import it all?
Yeah, if you have somebody who can understand SQL Server, they can import that kind of stuff really easy.
Okay.
Another example of what you can do is like, it has a built-in metric, but we're not real happy we can't use the metrics the way the data is presented. So for when I go to do my car metrics, I have my custom view just like John showed you, and I can then select all, hit copy, and go right into Excel and paste it. And then I've got Excel, I can create my graphs and do a lot in Excel, but it's as simple as copy paste, which is nice.
This one will bring up all your CAPA issues, and then we'll break them out. It's very limited. It'll break it out based on whether it was caught by audits, customer complaints, returns, whatever. And you can at least profile it that way. We get more granular than that, so we end up just extracting the data ourselves and choose a different format for it. And you can see we only had 2 audits, and they're just sitting in the same column, they're audits. So, but that's the analysis module. So I pretty much covered all the modules I'm familiar with. Assets, if you're small enough, you can actually just put assets in here and start assigning stuff. It's not as customizable as you would hope, but at least if you had certain assets, we were using this at one point for calibration because you can track non-conformances with tools. However, again, it wasn't capturing enough information for us, so we actually extracted the data. We use a different piece of software for that. So what you see is what you get there as far as tracking assets. You can also, if you want to, you can track your HR. You can set up their roles. You can set up their departments. You can even set up the hierarchy of who supervises whom. But again, if you're a pretty big company, this is not very robust. I don't think it's their forte. So anyway, in a very speedy way, that's kind of what Qples can do. We find it very, very nice for tracking the traceability between documents, corrective actions, audits, training. It really does help right there, especially when an auditor comes in. It's very quick and handy to just sit them down, conference room, and show them all this on Qples. Any questions?
So managing drawings and things like that, most people use PDM, I guess, now for drawings and that sort of thing, and then they convert the drawings into a PDF and then on, so it's the same sort of thing.
That's exactly how we
use it for drawings also. Same thing, you can run it through the revisions, you know who approved it, what data was approved, and if you're using it for manufacturing, then you train the people to go to Qples to get the most current revision.
So we don't have to have PDM works on every workstation out there, which costs money to have the licenses. We actually have PDFs. You guys can go and click on the drawing and bring up the current revision.
And you can pick up the current revision and like the red lines for that one from the previous revision.
No.
Well, you could. You can actually attach multiple documents to the, say, revision A. You could have multiple documents attached.
If you're on C, you could show B's revisions to A.
You could, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
Or depending on the PDF software, you could layer it.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Usually what we'll do is build it up in the layer.
John, would this tool be appropriate for like short routers, say 10 or 20 steps that you're going to put, processes you're going to link together for a process?
Yeah. I couldn't see why you couldn't use it for that. In fact, we have pretty large processes we track in here. The nice thing about what you're asking is I can go in here under this instruction, and under properties, I can, do we have another doc in here? I can go in here and I can relate a document. Now, let's assume I had a process in here. Let's assume this instruction is calling another step. I can go search, and of course they've got all these temps in here, and this is all example stuff. But I can go in here and do that. And basically now what I'm showing is, when I save it, that this instruction calls that next step. And I can show what step called this instruction. And it can show that hierarchy. Again, somebody's got to keep it current.
Yeah, you could even, with this, what John was just showing there, like let's say you've got a quality manual, and you've got processes that you have that meet that certain section of the quality manual, you can, develop that relationship and what reports to what and all that, which is helpful during that audit.
Right, so I know this is one basic question, but I noticed since you can customize the forms, especially the capital forms, the way you rubber set our system up does not have an icon to allow you to add actions under each phase. Is that something you do on the report manager?
No, that's how you build your capo. When you go here into the capo module, you have the ability to go over here and say, I can edit wizards, or and a wizard would be better for users, but under templates, let's say I go in here and I say, okay, I want to create a brand new template. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, I want to add a stage. So I'm going to turn around and stage name, I'm just going to call it short term. I want TS, that's what I want. So I added it. So now I've got a TS stage. And under that action, if I double click on it, I can show, do I want it to display a list of actions? Yes, I do. So I've just created a new template and I've only got one item. Oops, I didn't call it anything. So I've got a new template in here and it's called New Monday. So now when I go over here and I say, hey, I need to create a brand new corrective action from a template, I'm going to go pick,
I gotta refresh.
oh, that's right. Did it do it? And then I got to close it and come back in. Where was it? I did. I thought I did. Let me do it this way and see if it comes up. If I go in here and say apply template. I thought the templates were there. Did I save it? Oh, yeah. That's right. I have to assign it to the capo module, whether this template's good for any other module. So now I've assigned it there. Now it's good. It's there. So now I should see it here. If I go apply a template, there's New Monday night. And if I say yes, replace the existing stages, that's all I get. I get this one with nothing in it. You see, so you'll have to go in there and find where it says add actions, allow actions, and it will add it in there. You've got to customize
But I
it.
noticed before when you had your other template on the right little bar in that, within like ST right there, it had a plus sign and it said you could assign an action.
Yes, because we had put it in there. If I go up,
How do I add that particular function, assign an action? That's the part that I'm missing that I haven't figured out.
See,
what it is.
did you see here when I'll show Joe's? Do you see this where he has this short-term action he's created? If I double click on it, look what he's got checked. If you have that, then you're going to get this box. Okay, so you're going to have to go look at what template you're, however it was set up, whichever template they're using is their default, and make sure that box is checked.
And you remember, I think if you've got the workflow set up, something we ran into, if you got workflow set up where you have to complete one stage before the other, if you say you've got long-term has to be done after short-term, if you set that up and they go in, they won't be able to complete their actions in the long-term in that stage. So you gotta be careful how you set up your workflow.